We promised 2 podcasts, and we decided to do it back to back because what can I say? We're wonderful people. Actually, we're terrible people, but that's beside the point. Anyways, we're back again for a second night, finishing up the last couple of days before the NFL draft happens, and then shortly after our draft begins. We've got the Eagles, Broncos, Giants, Texans, and Vikings doing another live mock draft. For those who watch this on YouTube, you'll be able to follow along the sheet and everything as we make the picks. Otherwise, we'll try and recap as we can every once in a while so you have an idea of who's going where, why, etc. So, as we did last time, the link will be posted and shared to the GM's League mock draft area of the message board. So feel free to review. And again, what we're doing to figure out landing spots for some of these picks is PFF released a new mock draft. I believe it was earlier today, based off of I think where they expect folks to go in the full 7 rounds. So we're going to use those landing spots to identify who we're picking based off of where they go in the draft and where they landed. All good?
All good.
Let's do it.
All right. So randomize the teams on the pod, and the first pick went to the Eagles, picking on behalf of the Bengals. So RJ, take us away.
Woohoo! All right, so the Bengals is a team that's looking to compete right now with this roster construction. If we're going off of the PFF mock, I want the quarterback that is most likely to start and be productive this year. So I am going to take Will Levis, going to the Colts.
Kentucky boy going strong.
Will Levis going, and again, the PFF mock has him going to the Colts in the 4th pick as the 4th quarterback off the board. However, based off landing spot, RJ has him as the 1st quarterback off the board.
Yep. Not necessarily for a dynasty purpose or anything like that. Just Bengals needs the points right now. And that's going to be the landing spot where the Colts quarterback, if the Colts take a quarterback, that is going to be the most likely to be a productive player, from week 1. Long term, I don't know how that pans out, but Bengals will have a productive quarterback week 1.
I agree.
I still think the running back is the choice here, but I won't table talk. All right, Sean, you're up next.
So I'm picking now for the Seahawks, who have 2 picks in the first 6 picks. First 7 picks. And I think he is going to go quarterback. Looking decent with Breece Hall, especially now with Rodgers behind center. I think he's going to go with Bryce Young with the Panthers.
So I'm surprised by that pick just for the potential game theory of this. So, like you said, he's got 2 picks the first 6. You've got Deshaun Watson. Lions is never quarterback yet. If he goes Bijan here, and you likely don't go running back, you likely don't go quarterback, he still has one of the 4 quarterbacks at 6.
Correct.
Yeah, but I think it goes back to the kind of get your guy. Don't let it fall to you. Looking at his team, I think he'd rather have control over who he wants and not let it fall to him.
Right. Fair enough. Again, I think kind of 4th QB and Bijan for me would be preferable than 2nd QB and not Bijan. But again, we'll see how things fall here. So definitely something I want to make sure we touched on. So once again, Bijan is falling past the 1st pick, which I don't know if that's going to happen, but it is in our mock draft. So, why not? It'll be fun. Bill, you're picking for the Lions.
See, it's very weird because the Lions could use everything, but he's too far removed from needing Bijan. and he's so analytically driven that I think he would pass on him. I think he would take C.J. Stroud.
Holy God.
I do. I think he would because he's not ready yet.
Guys, you realize when we do this that it's going to look like it's totally tilted for the Texans that he gets the two top non-quarterbacks at the 4th and 5th pick, and highly unlikely that happens.
Yeah.
I'm kind of throwing the BS flag here a little bit, but again,
Well, I mean, the argument to Bengals at 1 is Stroud would take over for Tannehill immediately if Tennessee trades up to 3.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that would be a Stroud pick, or well, I mean, it would still be quarterback, but it could also be a situation where Tannehill teaches him for a year, and that could lead to Bijan. So it's very tricky with Tennessee. I mean, they're not going to trade up from 11 to not play the guy, I guess, but it is a very tricky scenario to land in there.
Yeah, I think the fact that the Titans trade up for Stroud in the PFF mock kind of forces Bengals' hand here. That being said, on the clock myself here at 4 for Texans, I'm gonna smash Bijan. Big need for the team. He does have a quarterback. I have another pick. I could consider a potential better long-term fantasy quarterback there, but yeah, Bijan is top of the board here.
all right, so shocking. Bijan Robinson, and he's a Bengal in this mock situation. All right, I'm just going to make sure I've got him lined up for the right team here. The other half, again, he's sprinting to – I don't even think he's entertaining trades at this point. Like, there's a point we want to entertain trades because, hey, we can move back and stuff like that. You know who the next 2 picks are going to be. Just make the picks because it's Bijan Robinson for the Bengals and it's JSN, who is a Texan in this situation.
I will say the other quarterback could still be an option here, just from like sheer value.
I will agree with there. I
think I would
right
take,
there.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think I would take
100%.
Yeah, if it's Anthony Richardson and it's the Texans, I mean, that's the thing. It's in my view, Bijan doesn't make it past 3. I think Lions says, hey, CJ Stroud, great potential, foundational piece for me. I'm not ready to be thinking about that yet. I need to take the best value for me to either keep or move. And Bijan is probably that right now, in my opinion. So I think he goes 3. If that's the case, I definitely could see Texans stacking Richardson, who goes to the Texans here, and JSN with these picks.
Yeah. I still, even like the way the board goes here, like JSN, I still think I would take Richardson. Even have the double up on the quarterback, move one of them later versus
You
the top.
don't have to make that choice.
That's true. I'm just saying.
All right, so now we've got a situation here. Richardson is falling. Seahawks just took Bryce Young. Does he double up on quarterback here with the idea of trading one at some point, RJ, or does he take more of a position of need?
No, it's probably going to be a position of need. Oh no. Hold on. I got my tabs all mixed up. Trying to go back to our draft. Where did Gibbs go in this?
Gibbs hasn't gone. Oh, Gibbs. He goes to the Saints, I believe.
Yeah, it was the Saints.
With Alvin.
Oh, to the Buccaneers. Sorry, 50 to the Buccaneers.
Oh yeah, Gibbs.
All right, Sean, you're up with the Cowboys.
All right, let me move some stuff around real quick. Where does Gotta love my little finder. So my board's a little bit different, but knowing that what is it? PFF has the Packers getting Quentin Johnson. I'm going to go Quentin Johnson here.
Yeah, top 15 player off the board. And second receiver taken. All right. Bill, you know what I'm doing here.
Anthony Richardson. I guess not even a question. Like, it's too much value.
Richardson at 8, I'm going to be unbearable. I'm just going to tell you guys in advance.
It's too, and like it's almost a perfect situation because you can start immediately, and that's fine because you have 2 starting quarterbacks. Or he could sit, and Davis Mills can play for the season, and they can be terrible and get another, and they can get Marvin Harrison next fucking year to pair with them, and then you have a quarterback of the future. So either way, you win out.
Yeah, like I said, I will just be unbearable.
As you should be. Richardson should be QB1 if he goes top 2.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm up here with the Saints. A lot of needs across the board. I'm looking at receiver, though, for the long-term play. I'm going to go with the landing spot that I like better, Zay Flowers and the Bills.
Saw that. And again, I think there's room for 3 receivers in that offense. Did I miss something with Gabe Davis that all of a sudden it's wide receiver 2 is open for business?
He's too hit and miss. He's very week to week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Flowers doesn't have to be an outside receiver. Diggs is 30, and who knows what's going on with him right now. So it's also, I think, just an opportunity on that offense versus.
You're doing a rapper.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone knows though.
Yeah.
They're not aware of it.
Bill.
Got real quiet real fast. All right.
Yeah, tell us what candy it is, at least. No.
All right. Bets are up. I gotta double check this to be sure. I think there's definitely a debate with this pick, but it doesn't last for very long. So I'm gonna go Will Anderson here on the Lions. If the Lions are in a situation where they've got Aiden Hutchinson on one side, Will Anderson on the other, and any functional human being at D tackle, especially space eaters, like Kirk Cousins, Jordan Love, and Justin Fields are going to be terrified.
Mm-hmm.
That said, again, Aiden a little undersized, Anderson a little undersized, so you're really in a situation where you need to make sure you've got sort of a more classic nose as part of that scheme. I don't know if that's what the Lions are running right now, but that's really what you need to make that work. All right, on to the Steelers. RJ.
All right. I think the Steelers at 11 would probably do better off with just a stud edge rusher. So we're going to go Tyree Wilson.
I love the landing spot in Atlanta too.
Oh, yeah, ripe for opportunity.
Yep. All right, Lions are up with their next pick. Texans, what are you thinking?
Who just went? Tyree Williams.
Wilson, yeah.
I think he's going to be in a great position now to stack and get a great 1-2 punch with Drake London and a wide receiver and Jordan Addison.
who went to
Yeah, that landing spot. I mean, whoever is the receiver the Vikings take at 23, assuming they do take a receiver, like, that's just sexy.
This is the first mock I've seen in a long time that doesn't have them taking Hendon Hooker.
I'm not sure he goes to the Vikings, but again, looking at that landing spot,
Yeah, I would almost wonder, better draft capital, in my opinion, better landing spot. I would rather have Addison over Flowers at this point, but it's definitely debatable. I think Flowers to me is the better prospect, but that landing spot right next to Justin Jefferson with the opportunity vacated by Thielen and everything else, like that's just
Yeah, but your quarterback is Kirk Cousins instead of Josh Allen.
yeah,
exactly. Yep.
Kirk
I would
Cousins,
take the
4,000
talent of
yards.
Flowers and the opportunity on the Bills offense versus number 2 to Jefferson and Kirk.
Well, to each their own.
Yeah.
All right, the Jets are back up. Bill, what are the Jets doing here? They've got Will Anderson at the 110. What are they doing at 113?
Well, Jordan Addison was going to be the pick. Not that he needs another fucking receiver, but still. So I mean, at this point, you're going into the trenches with a receiver again. You're going real deep on running back, or you're going, pass rusher. I think that for him, I think pass rusher is the way it's going to fall, given the way that this is breaking. And based on the mock, I'm going to go Lucas Van Ness, who went 9 to the Bears.
All right. So he double taps the DE position here, grabbing Anderson and Ness, 2 of the top 3 taken. Spent a lot of money in win free agency, but now he's really investing to make that a position of strength. All right. Good luck, Brandon. What's Pat's doing with 14?
Yeah, well, I'm not just going to default him to take a tight end like we keep doing. I think I'm going to take the highest upside pass rusher left, Nolan Smith, to the Seahawks.
I do love the mock, and I mean, I would be terrified if this actually happened, where the Seahawks take Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith.
Oh, yeah.
That combination with Boye already there and the other pieces on that line, like, that's just absurd.
Yes.
All right, 15. Again, I'm not going to default to a tight end here, but I am going to take somebody who's going to probably take a little bit to get on the field because of an injury. I'm going to go ahead and give Hendon Hooker to the Titans. He is a Raider in this scenario, and he is sitting behind Jimmy Garoppolo as a bridge. So basically, once he hits the field, he gets Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, basically the slot gods, Josh Jacobs. He's ready-made in an offense once again that is ready for him. And again, he falls to the late second here, but I see the Titans saying, "Hey, I'm not going to get points from this player through the double headers. So for keeping my points down and keeping my draft pick high, that kind of accomplishes my goal." And then if I'm in a situation where I am the 101 or 102, I don't have to say, well, I need a quarterback, so I got to take Caleb. I can go Marvin Harrison, or I can go a different position.
That's fair.
And again, the 49ers are right here as well, really needing a quarterback. So I'm thinking, if I have another player I love here, I'm going to make the 49ers beg for this. And, maybe Joe Mixon's got a nice landing spot that I believe in or something like that to come get this pick. All right, RJ, I just crushed your dreams. What are we doing with the 49ers now?
All right, my dreams are definitely crushed. But are they? You could take no. if San Francisco can't take a quarterback with this pick, you don't take the 6th quarterback available, regardless of how appealing the landing spot is in this mock draft. So you probably go with Zach Charbonnet. And you get a little bit of a safer running back than some of the other. Not necessarily safe. He still would have to outplay or at least get on the field with Kamara and Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
being
Yeah,
available.
Kamara should be suspended, right? For some portion of the season at least.
Yeah, at least 6 games.
Well, has he been suspended yet?
No.
He appealing keeps on getting pushed back.
Yeah, his appeal isn't like till July now.
So he has been suspended.
No. His court appeal.
Oh,
He hasn't done anything with the
Yeah.
NFL.
okay.
All right. With now the Chargers. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the Chargers' first year in the league, right?
Yes.
There's a new Chargers, yes.
So I think he's going to want to make a offensive splash, just kind of learning the league. And I always love the combination of a QB rookie and a wide receiver rookie. And in PFF, it has Josh Downs going to the Colts. So we're going Josh Downs right there.
Interesting.
I mean, I like the fit, frankly, too. He's, to me, watching him on tape and seeing what he does, he's a, I'll call it phone booth type of athleticism. Like Pittman is the guy who can line up kind of anywhere and be that big role. But Downs gives you that phone booth athleticism to complement that, especially that they lost with Paris Campbell leaving.
Exactly.
All right, Bill. Is it tight end time now?
So the Patriots have a lot of ways they can go. I want to say receiver here, but like the next drafted receivers are Tank Dell and Jalen Hyatt. Neither one of them are of interest to me this high. Not for Pats. I think Patriots is going to look at his roster and he's going to say what's going to be good down the road and not necessarily kill me now. So he could go with one of those receivers, but I think he's also one of those teams that is such a curveball, and I think he is going to go with the first tight end, and he's going to take Dalton Kincaid, who went to Dallas.
Kincaid's a really interesting fit in Dallas.
Yeah, he slides in nicely.
Yeah.
True. All right, the Titans are back up.
Yeah, so Kincaid is who I was flirting with for the Titans as kind of like a longer term piece for his rebuild. Who do we have them taking? Hendon Hooker. Okay.
Yep.
I think just based off of kind of what's I probably go Miles Murphy, who went to the Jaguars.
Yep.
Interesting. I actually like that a lot.
I'm interested with that because you have Josh Allen, you've got Trayvon Walker there as your edges in a 3-4. So Murphy going there, where does he line up? Does he line up as a 3-4 end and
Yeah.
versatility there?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a rotational piece.
So if he's gonna have, that would mean he'd have a DT tag in our league with the new true position, right?
Not if he,
So he'll be D tackle this year, yes.
So okay, if that's the case, then I'm just gonna take Jalen Carter.
Okay.
Sorry to.
No, that's fine.
But
I mean, we're talking through this. That's fine.
yeah. And so, like we said earlier, Carter went to the Seahawks. Pretty disgusting defensive line they're forming.
All right. I'm gonna again hit a position of. Part of me wants to hit a position of need. Part of me wants to take advantage of what I feel is a value. What to do? What to do? What to do? You know what? I'm gonna just take the value here because I think the landing spot makes sense for it. I'm gonna take Jack Campbell. He's a lion in the situation. The Lions now have one of the dirtiest defenses in the league. With Will Anderson joining Aiden Hutchinson, they're going to need a tackle monster in the middle of that defense to just rack up the points. We see a lot of linebackers moving to D end or edge as we move to true position. So this seems to be a get a position of need, get a position that was probably going to be more scarce, and get a guy who, based off this mock, is going to be very well positioned to, see 150 or 200 point season in his rookie year. All right, RJ, what are the Ravens doing?
All right. Well, the Ravens have a pretty decent team, so I think you just try to fill out depth. I've looked at all the possible running backs, and I hate almost every landing spot. So we're going to go with the only one that I think has potential of being a starter, like at some point in the season. Tank Bigsby on the Falcons.
Interesting.
What round did he go?
4th.
It's just barely a day 3 pick.
Yeah, he's like the 4th or 5th running back taken. So it's not too ridiculous. There's only like 2 or 3 running backs ahead of him that are still out there.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. Next with the Saints.
Yep.
I think they are also looking at running back, but I think you kind of nailed on the head. There's just not a lot of good landing spots there. So I think he goes best on the board. And looking at linebacker, which he needs help with, he has a lot, but nothing where really significant besides for TJ Edwards. So I'm going with Drew Sanders because I love the landing spot in Carolina.
Yeah, I do like that. And again, I think he slots well into one of the Sam role there. And that's been a really productive role for Carolina in years past. All right, Bill, Brandon, you guys behave now. We're going back to back with Falcons here. And for the purpose of this, Bill, I know what you're going to say. Assume he has the cap space to make these picks.
Okay, that's fine. So I look at his roster and I don't see a lot of holes, right? We all know that, right? Like his biggest hole is Kyler's injury. Assuming he has the cap space, I think the one place he needs help is tight end because there's no guarantee Darren Waller is Darren Waller. And it then just becomes a question of which tight end do you go with? Do you go with Michael Mayer in the Rams? Do you go with Laporta at Green Bay, or do you go with Darnell Washington at the Lions? Personally, I'm taking Darnell Washington in Detroit. That's the only open job right now. Laporta is not enough of a piece for me to say, yeah, he immediately steps in. And I just don't think that Meyer plays this year ahead of Higbee.
Oh, Trey Young. Sorry, I know we're talking football, but that was just.
Don't spoil it. I'm like 3 seconds behind you.
Fuck. Sorry. All right.
With that being said, though, I think Washington goes. I think his draft stock has risen tremendously in the last few days. And I think he goes maybe a little bit earlier. Like to the, I think Patriots, like even like a few spots before.
That's fine. We just
Yeah.
have to go off this mock. So
Yeah.
I think he's a better in real life option than a fantasy option.
Yes.
But anyways, so with a tight end being added, I'm looking at maybe the weakest overall position on the Falcons roster, and I'm going to go with defensive end Will McDonald from the Eagles.
All right. We're at the point of the round at pick 25 where we're starting to, again, not see players being, falling in the best spots. So it's a question of, are we getting, are we drafting for spot? Are we drafting for talent? Are we drafting for upside? I think I'm higher on this player than a lot of others. And the opportunity that he steps into is pretty remarkable. I'm going to go with Cedric Tillman here. On the Rams, there's, say what you will about Allen Robinson. He's gone. You've got Cooper Kupp there. I think Tillman's a really good complement to Kupp. And he's got to go against Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell. Like, he's got a clear path to the wide receiver too in a Sean McVay offense. So this is not I'm taking the landing spot probably more into account here. The draft capital is early third, so I'm not going to penalize him too much for that. Not the pick I thought I was going to make, but just trying to acquire value here and wanting a path for the receiver to start producing. So if I do want to move him, he maintains his value. I'm going Tillman.
Oh, I was hoping he would fall a little further.
All right, RJ, you're back up with the Jets.
Okay. So Jets, I mean, at this point, you're just taking best possible landing spot or like longevity. How many wide receivers have been taken so far?
Not many.
Has Jalen Hyatt gone yet?
No, he's still there.
He's not, but he's going to the Giants, who just have the same wide receiver on every position for the last 5 years.
All right, then Rashee Rice,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, was that their first rounder or no? They go Ojulari in the first. Is it end of the second or Rashee Rice, SMU, going to Chiefs. I like that. All right, Sean, I feel like there's a slam dunk here for the Pats to make.
Yes, he is. He probably regretted a little bit earlier not going tight end, but now he gets a spot at tight end with Michael Mayer.
Well, again, he's got Dalton Kincaid, so he's doubling.
Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I thought he didn't get him.
Shame on you for not listening to me when I speak.
No one can blame us. Kind of. I'm going to go Miles Murphy.
Right there. Miles.
Yeah, Miles Murphy.
Miles. Did Murphy? Oh, yeah, Miles Murphy did not go. So he's going to be a D tackle likely in this setup.
Correct.
All right. 2 D tackles in the first round. Holy shit. All right. Bill, you're having to get inside the mind
I literally not pick for Goose.
You have to get inside the mind of a goose, a wild goose. What would the wild goose do here?
I
Trade down.
Yeah, he would, but
This is not what's going to happen, but we can't do that, unfortunately.
right. So this is what stands as is now. So, I mean, I would say that he's probably going to look at. I mean, it's best player available for him at this point. So, I would say. I would say he would take. It's interesting because I want to say Jalen Hyatt, but I don't know that he has a better shot. And part of me wants to say he would take Tank Dell because he has a better shot to play in Seattle. So I'm, oh fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna go Tank Dell because he was drafted higher and has a better opportunity.
A lot of Seahawks going in the first round here.
We got a lot of open spots.
All right, Brandon, what are your teammates doing here?
Yeah. This is a hard one. I think he goes Jalen Hyatt. I know he's obviously got Tyreek and Mike Evans studs, but after that it's some Detroit like third and fourth stringers. So yeah, Jalen Hyatt. I think he'll. I'm excited about him as a Giant, especially if we get him in the second round. But we'll see.
Yep. All right.
And this would piss me off if I was the next pick.
Yeah. No. I mean, I know who I want to pick with this pick, and I was going to be in a very difficult position if Hyatt was still there because I knew you were going to, break your finger to make the pick. There's two players I'm going between here, and George Kittle is one of the more valuable pieces in this league. But I think there's an opportunity here where Mayer is going to get drafted to a situation that is hindering his value. But I think many people have him as a potential top tight end of this draft. So I'm going to give you – you know what? No, I'm changing my mind. I was going to give you Michael Mayer to have him develop behind George Kittle and have you kind of look to the future as, hey, either I move Kittle this year or next year, Niners start to face him out, so Meyer's ready to start coming on. Instead, I'm just going to take the highest upside guy for you. And he's a fourth-round running back. He's going in and potentially being if the number one gets hurt, I see him being the bell cow there and not Michael Carter. So I'm going to give you Roschon Johnson.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is an interesting. It's a crowded backfield, but he's a 3-down back, really good pass protector. Brees coming off of a knee still.
Yeah, and again, I think if Brees went down, Roschon would fill in the Brees role rather than Carter shifting over to that. Plus, I think the mock here has them taking with the 15th pick, Paris Johnson.
Yep.
So it's a good offensive line to start. They're making it better in this draft. It's a crowded backfield, and it's a better offense because they're getting Aaron Rodgers. So.
All right.
You know what? Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm going to screw this.
The pick is
Okay, never mind.
Pick us in. The pick is in. Fine.
He picks again in 3 picks.
So we're good. We have this one locked in.
Fine. This pick is locked in.
All right. Well, because Pats has such an already established roster with no observable holes. You can take some gambles, and I think he gambles on potentially a starting quarterback, Tanner McKee,
Oh, I knew you were going to do it.
Seahawks. Hey, it's a good landing spot.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and you've loved McKee a lot, so I think there's a little bit of projection going on here. But yeah,
Do you think he tries and has him at 202 instead?
Sure. I mean, you could go with Meyer or any of the other various tight ends in this position, but just thought we'd spice it up a little bit.
Yeah. No, I like it.
all right.
All right.
The Devontae Adams pick. What are we doing?
So he is. I think he's going to be looking at either the best DE on the board, because that's kind of his only real weakness, I think. Or he does what you said before with tight end. He takes someone. He has Travis Kelce right now. He takes the best tight end on the board and lets him develop a little bit until Kelce is done. With that being said, I think he takes the offensive player, and I think he takes Michael Mayer. And he's looking pretty good right there.
Yeah, and he goes to the Rams here. All right. Bill, what is Brandon doing with the coveted 201?
So I've been looking at this, and I'm so happy that you did not give him a tight end, because that's pretty much what I was staring at. And your reasoning that you gave earlier is spot on. The interesting part is it's probably going to be somebody you don't expect me to say. So we're going to go all the way to round 3, pick 66, and give you Luke Musgrave to the Bengals.
Nice.
He steps right in as the starter.
Yeah. I think that's a great ad for him there.
Yeah.
I mean, he might split time with Irv Smith until Irv Smith breaks his leg again, but he's the guy there from day one, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Brandon, what is take us back inside the mind? Oh,
This is so unfortunate for you, Brandon.
I'm just going through making sure that I'm not missing anyone. Yeah, so I think at this point, Pats should be taking best player available. And I think that's going to be Trenton Simpson at this spot, who went to the Giants. So he'll be playing next to Bobby Okereke.
yeah, potentially that Ted role, but he's well suited for that. Same idea here, Lions. It's too early to start going for a specific position, so we're going to go best player available or biggest upside potentially available. The landing spot here is really interesting to me, and there's a real opportunity he ends up winning the starting job from day one. This is who I was going to change the Giants pick to. But that being said, I think it's okay to give it to the Lions instead. I'm going Devin Achane.
Where did he land?
Panthers.
See, like, that's an interesting one. It could work out so well with Sanders, but I don't know. He might sit for a minute.
I think I would take Achane over Johnson. Yeah, for what it's worth. They're both like third stringers.
You know what? I'm just going to make that switch. I'm sorry. It's my mom.
God damn it.
You gotta live with your life, Mike.
Unbelievable.
I don't care.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a trade.
Ladies and gentlemen, being the host has its privileges. All right. Enough of that. Okay, the Saints are up at 204. RJ, restore some semblance of decorum to these proceedings.
Oh, not a possible chance. I'm probably going to take another quarterback. No, we are not taking another quarterback. We are taking a tight end.
Is this Laporta?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Amazing given the capital in this mock that he falls so far.
Well, I mean, the size is a big concern. And pick 45, that's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a fantastic landing spot.
Sure.
I mean,
Yep.
definitely, like, he has an opportunity to build a rapport with a new great quarterback there.
All right. Sean, what are we doing for the Panthers?
The more I look at this, the more I think that he's not going to be here for the Cowboys. But Zach Evans at one point was the number one prospect. So I think this is a no-brainer. It's going to be Zach Evans.
So where did Evans go in this?
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
a fun landing spot because a lot of the comps for him back in high school were Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think I would highlight him as being I don't think a lot of people realize that he was going to the Cowboys. I think I missed it as well. I think I would have him a little higher, even in that Devin range at the Cowboys.
All right, back to the Seahawks. Bill.
Yes. So I get a little curious about this because there's a lot of directions he can still go, right? I mean, do we want to give him a third Cleveland receiver and give him Marvin Mims? Or do we want to make it an actual, like, legitimate pick? So I mean, there's so much, like, high drafted defensive talent left, but I don't think he would go there because he can still build out that offense. So he's taken who so far? Recapping, it's Young, it's Gibbs, and that's it so far, right? So he has a quarterback and a running back.
Yep.
I think he would double down at running back here, but I don't like a lot of the landing spots. But I do like this one because I just love this player so much. Israel Abanikanda.
Damn it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's who I was just thinking about.
Yeah, he's going to sit and learn from Connor probably.
Bill was rambling that whole time trying to find a video of somebody pronouncing that name.
He's such a sneaky selection. And he may end up being a better NFL than a fantasy, but it's too much potential to pass up.
Yep. All right. Brennan, who are the Chiefs taking? Outside of
Ojulari, who went to the Chiefs. Going to take a defensive end.
All right. Yeah. Jonathan Mingo.
Ooh,
Going to the Ravens.
Ravens.
They've got Bateman. They just signed OBJ. They've got Mark Andrews. Am I really thinking a receiver is going to make a big difference here? And the answer is yes, because it's the Ravens. He's 220 pounds, and they're going to use him in a variety of ways. So he's the right type of receiver that I think they need there. If obviously, I'd rather go running back here if I could, but I'm not sure there's somebody here that makes a ton of sense for me to go with at running back based off of where things are. I'm already pretty well picked over in the third and fourth rounds. and again, I don't want to be diving into the fifth at this point and everything that comes with that. So I'll go with Mingo and hope that I hit on another receiver that allows me to move another piece that I need for that running back that I'm looking for.
Yeah. It's interesting you took Mingo instead of Trey Palmer since he was selected before in this mock.
I like the landing. I like the combination of landing spot and system better. Palmer obviously is taken before at receiver to the Ravens, but again, he's going to be more. I feel like that's that classic slot guy. The 180-pound slot flanker. That's popular these days. I also don't have a lot of faith in him as a prospect because he was supposed to take over in LSU last year, didn't. As a result, transferred to Nebraska, should have taken over there, didn't. So it's kind of one of those like, okay, if you've shown me over and over again you can't be the guy, why should I take you and trust that you can be the guy?
Sure.
Pat's back to back. We'll start with the Eagles pick, and then Sean, you start on that.
All right. So if I'm the Pats, I think right now you just take the best corner available. No. Me, A.T. Perry going to the Pats. I don't necessarily like the player, but he stands out in this class because he's pretty big-bodied wide receiver. Ultimately, he'll just end up being another N'Keal Harry, but if he ends up going to the Patriots, but we'll see where he lands.
All right, next up, I think he has finally a little bit of a wait before he makes his next pick. So I think he needs to get a wide receiver here. And he kind of plays the game of whoever falls to him. I think it's between Mims and Booty, with looking at what happens with Mims going to Cleveland and Booty going to San Fran. I think we are kind of talking about Booty needs to go to the best offensive coach possible. And I think Shanahan having that tool, especially with Ayuk, whatever's disgruntled he's being, I think that's the pick. So Booty's going.
'49ers player taken in the spot. All right. 2 minutes in. We're doing good work here, boys. All right. Chiefs are back up.
Yeah. So, I mean, he got a D end earlier. It doesn't mean he wouldn't double down for it, but I could also see him taking, a position of need potentially here, thinking about the future. I could see him doing defensive tackle, and just solely because it's such a good landing spot. I really hope he doesn't get this guy, but I could see him taking Kalijah Cansey from the Raiders.
Bill, I think you've taken my guy like 3 straight picks right before me now.
Kalijah Cansey. Yeah, again, need to look at your.
He went to the Raiders.
Yep, at
Yeah, I
22.
need to make sure I can spell his name correctly.
There you go.
All right, on to the Jets.
I'm not super familiar with the player, but the linebacker from Washington State here, Henley, to the Seahawks. He went in the middle or the very beginning of the second round. Put him next to Jordan Brooks, who I think has a 5th-year option coming out. He's a first-round pick, right? So we'll see if they end up picking that up this year or not. But true position, middle linebacker sounds good.
All right. Chiefs are back, and I think he loves the best ball approach, and he's getting a strong talent a lot cheaper than he was planning to spend. Marvin Mims is going to go here. Again, this is the third straight year the Browns will have taken a third-round receiver. We expected better things of the previous guys. Maybe this time will be different. It's probably not the best approach towards this, but Deshaun has a cannon. Mims can stretch the field. DPJ is basically the only other player who can do that right now for them. So I think Mims makes a lot of sense. Back to the loins.
All right. Another team that's functionally a blank slate as far as like massive assets. Let me see. Well, looks like he has a fondness for Chargers wide receivers. So we'll add another one. Where'd it go?
I know who you mean, but I'm waiting for one to make sure I get it down right.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Damn it, RJ. Everything was going smoothly and swimmingly. We had no hiccups or strange things happening in this.
I scrolled away and I screwed up now.
Tyler Scott.
Yeah.
To the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, it's because I was digging around in the fourth round. I'm dumb.
All right. Back to Sean. All right. Take us inside the mind of the Bears. Is this their first pick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I look at position and I look at the situation at the Chargers with what did I just forget his name? Jesus Christ.
Bosa and Mac.
Yes, my son.
No, with Eckler possibly being traded or being on his last year. Kenny McIntosh, I like the landing spot. So we're going to give the Bears McIntosh. Out of all the other running backs that are up there, I think that's the best one.
All right, going for the landing spot option. I dig it. All right, Bill, what are these cock commanders doing?
So, I mean, looking at his roster, he needs a tight end. He needs deeper running back. He needs deeper running backs. He needs deeper wide receivers. He has a need on offense as far as depth goes, especially. But I mean, let's see. All right, so this is going to be a little bit interesting, but I am going to go with I don't really know what Commanders is going to do here, but just because there's a chance that Cole Kmet flames out or doesn't get re-signed, I'm going to go ahead and take the round 3 tight end that they take to be his pair and go Tucker Kraft.
All right, on to Brandon.
Jets is really pounded defense. And there's another player we could keep going that route, but I think he might look to add some running back depth here. I'm going to go with Tajay Spears to the Colts.
I really like that.
That's a good one.
I was considering that with the next pick for the Dolphins.
There's a lot of
Go ahead, RJ.
there's a lot of production that needs to be replaced when Naheem Hines got moved. So I like that landing spot.
And I mean, Taylor was not healthy much of all last year.
So this is gonna, you know what? We're gonna have a little bit of fun here. So we're going based off of what the current NFL situation is, and that's Lamar Jackson has been franchised but not signed yet. And coming out of the draft, there may not be an easy path for the Ravens to take a replacement here. However, in this mock, they take a developmental guy that can go behind, say, Tyler Huntley, who they signed to the exclusive restricted free agent tag, who, frankly, looks a lot like Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go with Dorian Thompson-Robinson here.
Oh, interesting.
I love it.
The Ravens. He's got a team that made it to the finals last year because he has a cheap mobile quarterback option. He has a potential here, if things break right, to once again have another cheap mobile quarterback option. And in this mock, Robinson's just got to overcome Huntley to get there.
That's very interesting. Fun though.
Spicy, yeah.
All right, RJ, up to you.
All right. Well, I was originally going to go linebacker, but unfortunately, Dolphins looks like they're really good with linebacker, and none of them are going to get moved at defensive end anyway. So we're probably going to have to go edge, even though it looks like it's been picked over pretty well.
I mean, the first round has, but the second round is still a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all the impossible names, isn't it?
Rolling to the area.
Foskey's still there, however you say that one.
Yeah. Felix is still available, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If
Say
you
it,
go, nope. You got the first name. That's good enough. But yeah, a Cardinals defensive end sounds very appealing. I don't think they've found anything consistent there since who was the one that they Golden?
Marcus Golden.
Yeah, like that's the last like true edge that they've had be productive there for a full season, I should say. I'm sure they enjoyed JJ Watt, but
All right, you already mentioned him going to the Chargers in the second round. Is it Foskey? Isaiah. So best DN on my board.
Overall or just left?
Left.
I would say probably, yeah, left.
You never know.
Never know.
All right, Bill, back to the Sea Chickens.
So, like, there's really only like one first round name that's left that like is worth anything this early, but it's such a position of like nobody gives a shit that he's probably not going to take Brian Branch. But I'm like looking for like anything that would be of interest. Let's see here. I mean, I guess it's just going to be edge rusher. Like this could be like this serious run on edge rushers right here. And we'll go. Yeah, we'll go with Tuli Tupelodo from Denver.
I gotta look that up. Tuli
Tuili Tuipulotu.
You know what? And frankly, if I spelled it wrong, fuck everybody else.
But
All right. Steelers are back up. What are we thinking?
I'm going to insulate my James Cook investment with Dwayne McBride from the Bills.
All right, I'm picking for the Chargers here. Where did this guy go? Shockingly, when you're scrolling through an entire 7-round mock, the player that you're thinking about every once in a while. So I'm thinking running back here. But I'm between two options. One, again, has a clear path, but frankly, the guy that he'd be filling in for, they drafted a guy last year everyone thought was going to be the backup to this guy. So I'm going to go with somebody that this team doesn't have a position really doing this right now. I'm going to take Keaton Mitchell from East Carolina to the Commanders. The guy's just basic lightning in a bottle. You have Brian Robinson, who's really locked down sort of the called bell cow role there with Gibson playing more of that flex piece. I think there's a role there for Mitchell, who is just pure speed, pure just unbridled speed to work into that rotation. So considering what we've got here, I'm going to go with Keaton. All right, RJ, Bills.
All right. Bills is in dire need of a wide receiver. I don't like the only one left in, is it the 3rd round available?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Wilson.
Yeah. Michael Wilson from Stanford.
Yeah, so I will pass on him, and we'll go all the way to the back end of the 4th. It will be Jaden Reed still available. Huh?
Trey Palmer didn't get taken yet.
correct.
Oh, he didn't? Okay, then we're going Palmer. I thought I heard his name already.
Yeah, we talked about
it.
Okay, yeah, we'll go Palmer then. Niners, not.
No, he's a Raven. Pick 100.
Sorry, yeah, my bad. I was looking at. You guys know you have the same list.
Yep. Understood. All right, Sean, what are the Lions taking a shot at here?
They have a lot of linebackers, but no one really good. And we're going to go with the Lions, who have a great defensive game plan, and I like what they're doing. And they're going to get Noah Sewell.
Okay.
Lions picking the Lions.
Oh, his brother Penne, the offensive
Yes.
tackle. Interesting.
Yes.
I did not know that. I learned something today. Bill, another division mate for you. You love this.
Give him a cornerback.
So I think that this is honestly like a really incredible landing spot and a highly underrated player. I'm going to go Parker Washington from Green Bay.
I was going to take him with the next pick for the Steelers, so I love it.
He's from Penn State, right? That's the.
He is.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the former quarterback.
Yep.
5'9", 200 pounds. You know, a solid slot option.
I dropped the Steelers pick in our chat here, Mike, for your sake. But edge rusher for the Cardinals out of the war, maybe. But
Paul.
athletic and toolsy. Bad Cardinals defense.
Me too. Hold on, not a bookmark. Don't add a bookmark here. Remove. Add a. There we go. Fucking name. Holy shit.
Yeah, I tried.
Noah Adebawore. I hope that it's a Make-A-Wish kid who has to pronounce his name.
This is round 2.
Christ.
That's gonna be amazing. Oh, I can't wait.
Luckily, they give the pronunciations on the cards.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause
And the lady
That's
that's
still
supposed,
not going to help it.
the person that's supposed to hand that card over is just gonna go, "Good luck," and walk away.
Again, the kid's just going to look at me like, seriously? I'm dying of cancer. Fuck you. Oh, God. All right. This is my last pick of our mock draft here. And that means it's my last pick of this mock draft season. So I'm not going to take my time here, but I am going to scroll through and see if there's anything that has wildly been missed by anybody to this point. So, there's a lot of edge talent that I feel fell in this mock further than it would. I'm not going to go that direction, but I think that's something that is going to be interesting to watch to see if it is spread out as much as it is in real life versus how we have it in the mock. So the Steelers took James Cook last year thinking he's going to be able to move into a starting spot. I was thinking about this player previously, and I think the Steelers are a good landing spot for him because there's the upside there, but if not, there's backup potential, especially for next year as he develops into it. I'm going to go with Deuce Vaughn.
Nice. Yeah, I thought about that at the prior pick.
All right, RJ, your last pick to the Raiders.
All right. The Raiders are in dire need of a productive linebacker. Conveniently, I believe Dorian Williams has gone ignored throughout this draft. And landing with the Bills is a perfect spot for him.
All right. Keep rolling here. RJ's first pick of this draft, Sean.
Woo!
Picking the third round, I think it's a great spot because there's not a lot of good edge rushers for the Texans. So Isaiah McGuire.
If some asshole didn't take Tanner McKee in the first round, that's where he would have went.
Well, who's the Isaiah that we took earlier?
That was Foskey.
Yeah.
Koski, yeah.
Who did he go to?
What team did he go to?
He went to the Texans.
Okay. On the Jags, I know what I think would be a really interesting pick here, but it's not mine to make, so Bill, it's all yours.
So he needs a lot, and he's made an interesting note. He's not going to have a single linebacker after next year once we do the IDP rollover. But I don't have a linebacker to take anymore, thanks to RJ. That's
Gotcha.
So I think what he's going to end up doing is I think he's going to take a player based off of draft spot only. He does need wide receiver help, and he does need running back help. But I don't know which direction he would fall. But I'm going to give a guess here. So he could go Michael Wilson with the Lions. He could go. Where was he? You could go Kendry Miller with the Seahawks. He's still available, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't know if this name is or not. So remind me if this has not been taken, but I think that if he pays enough attention to landing spot, I'm going to say Zach Evans.
Zach Evans is gone.
Where did he go? Oh, there he is.
205.
I picked him. Yep.
So 26 picks ago.
Okay, my fault.
Remember the Cowboys?
You paid enough attention to landing spots in our mock.
Well, that's not worth it.
Shame.
So I think that it kind of comes down to what he wants to do. He could go Deuce Vaughn to the Raiders, but I think he'll just go wide receiver.
Deuce Vaughn's already gone.
Really? Okay, well, whatever.
You literally just went.
I didn't hear it. I apologize. And I'm stuck looking at a fucking list of names.
We're all looking at the list of names.
People who had not gone, confirming that you were paying attention, and then you just threw out two names who have gone.
Okay, so then I'm going to go, and I swear to God, if this name is gone too, I'm going to freak out. Jaden Reed from the Bears.
Do you guys want to tell him, or should I?
So who were you thinking about, Mike? Who were you talking about?
So he's got a lot of value locked up in Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
The mock here, I think it's a 5th round pick that he uses on it. Clayton Tune would be when I look at his tape, he's a poor to homeless man's Patrick Mahomes. A high volume pass offense, scrambles a lot, has a live arm, good accuracy. I see a lot of Mahomes on tape there. Considering they're having to throw, Chad Henne as their backup in that position, I could see Jag saying, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just solidify that position and grab Mahomes' backup.
That's interesting. It feels very early for that player, though.
Maybe. And again, I don't know all of Jag's picks, but he may not have another option with this, since we're not incorporating trades. But anyways.
Right.
Brandon,
Yeah, so I think Pat's I think
just do what we're all thinking.
a long-term thing to do could be to take Stenson Bennett, but I'm just going to go Brian Branch.
God damn it. Are you sure?
You got it at least one safety in the first 2 rounds. At least.
I was actually going to congratulate you guys on nobody making the terrible decision of drafting a safety in the first 2 rounds.
Look, Scene went 301 last year, and I think Branch is a much better player.
Fair enough.
On the Lions.
Hamilton went in the first.
Going in the first round at one point for him to go as part of this mock, but I understand you guys hate fun. Anyways, if you guys are interested in taking a look at this, but this is going to be shared via the mock drafts point on the message board. So help yourselves. Take a look at that. We are an hour and 20 minutes in right now. So again, we are going to skip trades. We will lead in. And,
Let's just do it.
all right, you guys have the endurance to start going through some deals?
Let's just do it quick.
All right, well,
It's not
lightning
gonna be
round
quick.
trades.
No. We're gonna. It's a long pod. These people should have known that going in. We're doing a 2-round mock. It's a long one.
This is how long the draft's going to take, right? We're going to go through 2 rounds in an hour and 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so in actuality, it's only like 8 or so trades here, so that's not too bad. So I think it was the Trubisky dump was the last thing we covered on the last pod. Is it the Titans trade that we're starting with here? I think.
I think
Yep.
so.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So Titans and Bill. Titans give up Ben Skoranek, Alex Singleton, AJ Terrell for Ty Chandler, Kylan Granson, Christian Barmore, Travis Jones, Christian Elias, Malik Harrison, Kobe Bryant, 328 and 330.
That's a lot of names.
My head hurts. I don't want to do this anymore.
Again, we're doing lightning round here. I preferred the Titan side of it, but I see both sides.
Yeah, I mean, Bill got the best player in the deal, but gave up a lot of depth. But it's okay. He makes it back later.
All right, Bill then turns around and moves Kirk Cousins, Deontay Johnson, the 525, and the Broncos 4th in 24 for Heineke, Ritter, Michael Thomas, Jeremy Ruckert, DJ Reader, Cam Thomas, and Zaven Collins. I almost pulled my car into the ditch when I saw this. I like the consolidation of talent. The Bears get the 2 best players in the deal, but this is a lot of pieces that were at positions of need for the Broncos.
Nicely done.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it was about. Was just getting the names that'll add the depth.
How hard was it for you to let go of DJ?
In this,
Shot for him since he got him. Seems like it was pretty easy.
Pride-wise, though.
I mean, the risk is Michael Thomas doesn't play, right? But that's like the only risk to this.
All right.
I think the bigger risk is if Falcons end up drafting a quarterback.
They're not going to.
It does seem that way, but that's the biggest risk to me is if Ritter is replaced.
Didn't you just see we just did an entire 2-round mock based off of what's going to happen? Nothing's going to from that.
All of those picks are set in stone.
Oh, that's right.
Those are the landing spots.
All right, I'm for the next 5, so we'll kind of go through this quickly. Gave up the Seahawks 2nd next year for Baker, so I projected early 2nd for quarterback who's the projected starter in a competition with 2 all-pro receivers. Granted, there could be a rookie quarterback incoming, or Kyle Trask could win the job.
Yeah, love this for Seahawks getting his pick back. I understand your thoughts on Baker could be a starting quarterback. Diversify
gamble.
that position. Yeah.
Again, with best ball too, I like it. He's gonna throw up some. If he does start, he's gonna have some good games. He's just not gonna be consistent.
He's certainly got the weapons. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then me and Sean, JOK and 104. So Sean can go back-to-back at 104 and 105. Get Wanda Robinson, Jabril Cox, and the 108 and the 433.
I like the gambles on the players, and I mean, it's kind of cheap to move up 4 spots, but it's not like some egregious price. It's
No, I mean, I was doing the math. Pretty much, I turned 117, 126, 205, 217 to 108, 109, and I turned that into JOK, 104, Metcalf, and Zach Wilson. I'll take that all day long.
Yeah.
Again, you add I lose Robinson, Purdy, in a 3rd and a 2nd next year. Again, lots of future pieces, but I have a foundation now.
Yeah. No, it's important to look at it, not just in a vacuum, 1-to-1, but
Yeah.
the string. I agree. It seems a little cheap to move up from, like, in my opinion, like another tier in the first round.
Correct.
But yeah, I know you're
I've
also.
got Anthony Richardson in this very realistic mock. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Then I move 128. Chargers second next year. Bears second next year for Juju, Montreal Robinson, or Rashad Weaver. So everybody, you're welcome. You can stop getting Montreal Washington and Rashad Weaver offers. I'm not sure.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what's going to replace those, but
The people's hero has returned.
then
Yeah, I mean Juju for a late first. I mean, on the ethnic contract and his age, it's unfortunate he's playing for the New England Patriots, though.
It's market value deal.
nothing's ever perfect.
Yeah, but who went 108 though? I mean, who went 120? Who went 128? Just for shits and giggles. Miles Murphy? No. Tank
128
Dell.
was Tank Dell. Tank Dell to the Seahawks.
I like Juju a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Eagles giving up Khalil Mack for Cooper Rush, J.D. McKissick, Will Fuller, Michael Davis, Adrian Phillips, and 312. Yeah. Safety use value in as a third and a mid-third round pick for Khalil Mack. Values him in basically a second rounder or late second. So I like that.
And now he has the roster spaces to actually sign his picks.
There you go. And then result of this afternoon's sweepstakes, George Pickens.
Kenny Pickett sweepstakes.
Just sweepstakes, man. I had multiple pieces in there. George Pickens, Michael Carter, Pat Fryermuth, and Bradley Chubb. I think he gets the best piece in there. I like the depth this provides me. Granted, I'm in a challenging cap situation now.
Yeah, I think we should all start doing sweepstakes, apparently.
Yeah, that's genius.
So the sweepstakes coming to you, your inboxes soon, fellas. But not the team that I thought should be doing a 3-for-1 to consolidate. Even if it is the best player in the deal, he was a team that was lacking depth, and now he's just lacking it more.
Agreed.
It's fine. Weaken the AFC. It's fine with me.
All right. That does it. So we get it done, and we get it done in style. So appreciate you guys sticking on a little bit longer to knock out the trades. An hour and 30 minutes again, back-to-back, 90-minute podcasts. Really, we're here for the people. Next time you see us, we'll probably be in the midst of our draft, doing a recap of what's happened in the NFL, what's happened in our draft, and we're going from there. And looking forward to it. I think we've done some marathon runs of these in the past, and I look forward to doing that again. So until next time, appreciate everyone's hard work this offseason and putting this content together. Enjoy the next couple of days.
Peace.